Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Car Spec Garage. Today is all about DIY projects. We're going to take my Tesla Model Y and we're going to install PPF or paint protection film on the whole front of the car. So that's going to be the hood, the bumper, the headlights, the fog lights, the fenders, and the mirror caps. Stay tuned. You're definitely going to want to watch this one. All right, guys, we're back. So thanks again for watching this DIY video. I want to first give a shout out to Dry Protected, who is sponsoring this video. They were so kind enough to partner with us to supply us with some materials so we can do this whole Tesla Model Y DIY project on YouTube so that you can see it. So I want to kind of go over the kit with you and show you exactly what it comes with, and then we can go from there. So let's walk over here, Parker. So what we've got is this is my hood and fender and then the mirrors for the car. And then we've got the headlights and the fog lights. And then this is the whole bumper. So the bumper, it's like a 3 or 4 piece part, if I'm not mistaken, that'll come with all the material to lay down on the front bumper. And then if we walk back over here, which is really, really cool, they provided with us the templates and how to apply it. So on the Tesla, where you start with 1, 2, and 3, and then on the fender, where you start to tack it down before you start to finally lay it on the car properly. Here is the mirror caps and how you start 1, 2, 3 again and stretch out that way. This one ought to be fun. And then the big one here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces for the bumper itself, if I'm not mistaken, and it'll go through and tell you everything. So we're gonna work on this hard. This is gonna be a challenge, but I think we're up to it. And really, with Dry Protected, their instructions are great. Everything about it. I'll tell you this. I was able to get logged in, or creating my login for Dry Protect was so easy. Just got it created, went into the professional tips section. All the videos, which kind of link you into YouTube, are there for you to watch. They're all just kind of laid out in a very well organized manner. So it made it really simple to watch the videos, over and over to make sure, hey, am I doing this right? Is this the way to do it? Or what have you. So thanks again, Dry Protected, for really kind of laying this out pretty easy. Okay, so what they gave us, so this right here, this is really cool. This is the cleaners here. So there's the Megawatt foam soap, the Recharge ceramic spray, and then the Amp all-purpose cleaner. So this will be like to take bugs and stuff off with. This will be after we've maybe even ceramic coated the car afterwards or whatever. We can spray that on there, or just spray that. It's waterless, so it's basically a waterless car wash. It's got ceramic coating in it, and then this is the foam soap to get it clean. Now, this was not included in the kit, but they were definitely just so gracious to send this to us. So they want it to be a perfect application. And so I think that we're going to use every bit of these products. I probably won't show us washing the car. I don't think there's any reason. You've seen a million washing car videos, so there's no reason to. So another thing that was really cool is we also added on with the order and this is called it's just the installation kit. So it comes with the tax solution bottle, and it'll tell you, and on the videos you'll be able to see how to mix your solutions. And then the slip solution here, it's got the instructions here. They gave me 3 practice PPFs to play with, a clay bar, a squeegee, and then some microfiber towel. So that's gonna be really cool. And then I got a bottle per their instructions of distilled water to mix with the solutions itself. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is get the car washed, bring it back in here, have it dried off, and then we're gonna start prepping the car per my instructions right here, prepping the car so that we can have just a clean surface so everything lays down perfect. So I will say this, a lot of people ask, do you do PPF, do you not do PPF? I think PPF is really cool. I've got it, I've installed PPF on many of my cars through the years, especially just the front. because that's where most of the impact's going to take. But you know, when you have a Tesla, you know, a couple of things. So the Tesla, I don't care if it's a Model Y or Model S or X or whatever it is, their paint is soft. So we spend good money on these cars. I mean, this is in the 40s. You can go all the way up past 100,000 on a Tesla easily. And you want to make sure that you protect your investment, protect the paint. So PPF is definitely the way to go to make sure that you are protecting your paint. So this is what this project is about. And we'll talk more about that throughout the installation side of it. So let's get started. We're gonna wash the car, get it back in the garage, and then we're gonna start laying the PPF down. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back and a little tired. So we went ahead and did a bunch of the steps for the car. So we'll talk about that. I'll walk back over here in a second and show you all the products that we use. So we got the whole car washed, and then the whole front end is prepared and ready for PPF. So if we walk over here, so the first thing that we did was I used the Amped all-purpose cleaner, and I used that around the whole bumper of the car and any areas that I saw bugs and things like that. So we got that done. And then we did the foam bath, or the megawatt foam soap. I love the name, and it also smells good. I mean, why do these manufacturers make this stuff to where you want to drink it? That's just not fair. Anyway, so we foamed the car. We let it sit for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, rinsed it off to kind of get as much surface dirt and stuff off, refoamed it again. I also put some in, used a 2-bucket method car wash. So filled one with water, one with some more of the megawatt foam soap. And we did that and washed the whole car, and we dried it off. And then I used half, as you can see, half of the clay bar. That's all I really needed, because again, we're only working on just the front of the car. So we did that. And what I ended up using was, I have another bottle laying around, like this tack solution bottle, and I filled it up with the foam soap so that we could use that as a lubricant for the clay. It works great and also just cleans again, so why not? So we did that, and then I got the tack solution, and really all I did was put 91% alcohol in it, and wipe down the whole front of the car, because that's what we're only working on, is the front. So again, all the kits and the wash, and again, thank you so much, Dry Protected, for sending us this nice wash kit. It was perfect, and I wanted to use every single bit of their solutions only on the car. So we got that clean. They used one of their, they send you 2 of the microfiber towels in the installation kit, and use that to wipe off with alcohol and get the car completely squeaky clean, get all the wax and stuff off. So I've got the slip solution mix. So what I did was fill this up to the 32 ounces with distilled water. It's the only thing that we used. And then per the video, that pro tip video that I watched on Dry Protected site, was 2 squirts of this. So that's roughly 1.5 millimeters, 1.5 cc's, or whatever you want to call it. So we got that. Okay, so now we've got these 3 pieces here, and this is just practice film. So I'm gonna try this off the camera and just make sure that I got this and I can get it to work right, and then I'll pull it off, of course. But and then we'll just go from there. So the first thing we'll do once we catch back up is we're gonna focus on the hood. We're gonna get the hood done first, because again, that's kind of the way that the pro tips talk about it in the template. So we're gonna follow the template here and go from there. So I don't think I'm missing anything. But again, all of this is about protecting the investment of your Tesla Model Y, or because this is what we're working on. It could be another Tesla, it could be anything else that they have kits for. But it's to protect the paint, because the paint is soft and it is an expensive car, and I just want to protect it. But I just didn't want to send it off to a to PPF shop and do it. It will be a whole lot more money. And I love doing DIY projects, so I'm crossing my fingers with Dry Protected's help from all the videos, which has been great, and we'll try. So again, I would definitely go out, and I'm going to link below Dry Protected's website. We're going to have a code for 20% off. That's going to be really cool. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. and bear with me, this is going to be a long video, but I think, or I hope, that it's helpful for everybody watching the channel to get out there and try these DIY projects. I think it's pretty cool. So again, the website's so simple to do. Dry Protect has been just absolutely amazing, helping me through this. When I email the team is spot on in sending an email back, replying back to me. It's been wonderful working with these guys. And again, I want to thank them for sponsoring the video. So hold tight. The next video we start back up is going to be putting the film on the car. All right, guys, as you can see here, we've got the PPF laid down on the hood. And as you can see, I can move it. This is like the pro tip videos, is we want to be able just to move it. That means we've got enough slip solution. I think I may have something up underneath it. There we go, okay. So we have enough slip solution right now. So I'm gonna get my squeegee, and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna line up the Tesla T here. Just gonna get it lined up to where we think it needs to be. And then we'll just kind of, okay, so I think we got it lined up here. So that's gonna be the first step. So now I'm gonna get my tack solution and just kind of put it down there a little bit. All right, we're gonna reline it up again. And then we're just gonna squeegee out. Kind of get the tack solution, just kind of get as much as we can out. Okay, and that's got it tacked down pretty good. That's got it tacked down pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. Yeah. All right. So step one. All right. Now we're going to come over here to the corner, and we're going to have to kind of get this lined up. So I'm going to put a little tack solution there, and I'm going to line it up. Okay, so that corner's down. Now I'll come over here, and we're going to do the same here. And now we'll have to kind of stretch it out just a little bit, but really not really that much. All right. Now, so let's go back and show you. So we've got the T, and then of course we'll get these little bubbles and stuff out. Little finger here. We'll come back to that. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna just move that over. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna make a line there. So now we can work on, I'll get these fingers out of the way. Now we can work on the corners here and start with one level here, one side here and one side here. And it doesn't really matter where we start, but what we want to do is just just start working the slip solution out. That's all we're trying to do. Like, this is a big bubble there, but we'll get it here in a second. We're just trying to work everything down. Okay, so again, the pro tip videos are so important. And I'm telling you, working with the guys at Dry Protected, I'm telling you what, man, they are absolutely wonderful to deal with. All right. Absolutely. Now, as you see, we're leaving all this. Again, this is going to be the pro tips. We're going to come in a minute when we're done and spray the tack solution, and we're going to let it sit for maybe about an hour. And then we'll be able to roll the edges over. And I've already cleaned under the edges with alcohol as well, so we should be good. All right. So let's just, let me get some, where's my slip solution here. I'm just gonna spray it on the car a little bit just to give me some lubricant to get this stuff out. As you can see, I'm working, and that's the, might put a little more tack solution there, maybe, we'll see. All right. So far, so good. Then we'll dry it off once we're done. Wipe it off, I mean, not dry it off, wipe it off. Now, he did talk about these fingers, and I'll get to them here in a second. And he just says, you know, in the videos, they just say kind of come at an angle on them. And see, they're gonna probably come back up here in a second, and I'll show you what we'll do. So we're gonna have some fingers. So I'm gonna get some of the tack solution, which is here. I'm just gonna raise this up. Oh, I gotta. All right, so tack solution here, we're just gonna put right there. I'm just gonna kind of come at an angle. Just come at an angle. See how I'm doing that at an angle here? Still got one, got a couple more. Let's take our time. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of feel around and see if I have any fingers or got one here. And just kind of come in here just to make sure, double check, just to double check everything. And now the tack solution, let me get the tack solution here. The tack solution is to help get rid of the soap and to help adhere where you need it to adhere better. Set that down. Okay, I don't have any fingers here. That feels really good. Just kind of looking here. There's probably still one there. Stay on that for a second. Right here, as you can see. So we'll kind of get a little bit more. Okay. Let's come up here. All right, let's see. All right, we got one here. All right. Okay. I think this is done. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put some of the tack solution up underneath the edge of all this, and then we're gonna get started on the driver's side fender. So I think it looks good. Let me grab the video here for a second. We'll go out far. So I think we are good to go. I'm probably gonna have to work on just a little finger here for a second. So I'm just gonna go over and make sure I don't have any other fingers popping up. And then I think we'll be good to go. So I'll kind of go back I know the glare is kind of hard, but guys, this is the first one. It's laid down. It's perfect. That I can look at and tell. So hang tight. We're gonna go to the driver's side fender here just in a minute. All right, so this one will probably be more challenging. Really, it's really just trying to get it lined up properly. Get some more slip solution. Just to get it started. All right, let's see. All right. All right, so that, I think, lines that piece up. Let's see, now let me just go to my little 1, 2, okay. So the next one, I'm gonna grab my stool. All right, the next one is this piece here and getting it lined up. Something on the outside. Let's see. All right, let's see. Come about like that angle here, Parker. Yeah, about right there. All right, so let me get some more slip solution in for right now, just so I can move this thing around. Everything else is still moving, so we're good there. And I'm assuming this will go here, so the tack will start here. Okay. Let's see. All right, guys, we are back. Let me get this tack down here. Maybe. Let's see. All right, so we're still working on this, of course, and this is going to take a little bit, but I want to move on. I want to move on now to start working on the other sides of this thing. You know, because we're definitely getting, things are starting to dry up just a little bit. So we're going to want to just start kind of getting in on it some. So I'm going to have to mix me some more solution here in a second. But I can tell you now that this is definitely the next hardest part here is the fender itself. So we're just trying to kind of get these things lined up. What do I do with my, there we go, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. Got something. Okay, let's just see if we can get this thing lined up. Okay, I think that's in good shape. Kind of bring that down a little bit. All right. Now let's come over here and get some slip solution. Or tack solution, excuse me. Let's see here. Kind of come at an angle a little bit. Get that edge. Get some tack solution here. All right, let's see if we can get kind of okay, it's looking good. Let's see if we can pull up this way. We'll get these fingers here in a second. Just gonna try to work the bubbles out. Oops. Okay, we'll kind of come this way now and start working them down. Okay. And as you see, I'm trying to stay away from this area because I've got tack solution in that area and I don't want to mix everything up. So we're gonna try to get as much as we can away from it. And again, guys, I am learning as I go. This is on, thank you, Parker. This is on the job training right here. Definitely on the job training. I mean, not too bad. I probably could have stretched it a little bit more. But we definitely got some fingers. We'll work those here in a second. Just working all the bubbles out that I see. There are still some that I have managed and we'll come back on this here in a second. Definitely got some finger action going, but we'll get that here just in a few minutes. Get some here. With this white paint, it's really tough to see everything to be honest with you. Let me get my tack solution here. All right. Gotta. All right, I'm gonna finish up a few little pieces on the fender, just get it all done. I'm gonna get this down a little better, and you don't need to keep watching me do this. And then we're gonna go on the other side and do it again on the passenger side, so hang tight. All right, guys, I had to go off video to work on this, but I've got a few little things I'm working out over here. I ended up just taking the camera, popping it loose to get around here. I've got the edges here sprayed, and then these edges are ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and fold those real quick. And I'm gonna bring the hood down just a little bit so we can see it. And we'll go from there. So I'm gonna hand over the video to Parker, or the camera. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run my finger around. Yeah, okay, good, go. All right, so, or let me just take the squeegee. I'm just gonna kind of what I'm doing here is just gonna kind of run my finger across just to start the process to get the film down, laying down in a more of a downward. Again, guys, this is my first time. Let's see. Here. Definitely got some little bubbles here I can see. We'll just have to figure that out. One thing is being able to put it in the sun. We'll get a lot of these bubbles out of the way, but there are definitely some in here. I'm hoping. All right. All right, so as you can see, we're still just rolling these edges. So as you see, I'm not tucking it all in yet. I'm just rolling the edges here. All right, so now we should be able to see. All right, so I think y'all all get the picture on what we're doing. So once I'm done, I will come back and show y'all the edges that are done, and then we'll go from there. So hold on here, I'm gonna finish this hood and then a few little minor things on that side of the fender. I'm gonna take a lunch break, we'll come back and we're gonna start on the passenger fender and then the mirrors, I think, and then we're gonna do the lights, and then the last piece is the bumper. So hold tight. All right guys, we are back. So just had lunch. Now it's gonna work on this side of the car, the passenger side. We rotated the car around so we'd have easier access to the car. So again, we got enough slip solution because I'm able to move it around. So the first part that we have to do is up here. So we're gonna get my pack solution. Put just a little bit down. Let's see, I think right there is a good spot. Okay, now the second one is here in the corner. So we're gonna get some tack solution. Tell you what, this is not lined up just right, so we're gonna have to kind of pull that back a little bit. We'll start all over. Still not right. Some more tack. There we go. There we go. All right. So now what we're gonna do, get this again, because this, there we go. Now that's much better. All right. Now, again, I am not a professional at all. All right, so now the third, and I'm gonna grab my, this is the camera. All right, still got a little finger there. All right, let's see if that does the trick. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna have to kind of sit with this light on me. And this is the hardest part here, of course. No doubt, the hardest part. Just trying to make sure that we get in here and just kind of get this thing down. Let me get my tack solution. Okay, dropping everything. All right, just gonna kind of saturate that area a little bit. I'm gonna use this big light here because I think it's gonna help me a little better. I'm gonna try not to have to take this camera off because I really don't want to. I really just kind of want to try to do it without it if we can. Of course, this definitely takes some time and effort. And I will take off the camera if I have to, but my hopes are that we don't. Let's see. I'm gonna try to do something here. I'm just gonna kind of maneuver that just a little bit more. Okay. Put some more tack solution in here in a second. And this one, I mean, don't get frustrated because it definitely can be frustrating for sure, but don't get frustrated doing this part. So let me work this again, guys. It's really just, you're gonna have to keep working it around, adding more tack in there, and just keep working things out, because that's just the only way I know to do it. And watching the pro tip videos, again, excellent resource for you guys, is going to just be, you just got to work it. That's the only thing. It's the only thing I know to do. So anyway, we'll be right back. Let me work on this troubled area here. Thanks. Okay, so we've got down here done. We're still working on this. That's gonna take a little while, but I'm gonna go ahead and get everything else kind of tacked down. So the next stage is this one right here. So we'll get a little tack solution here, and we'll get this thing kind of centered a little bit. Let's get back some. Let's see. All right. I'm kind of trying to see if we can get this laid down here. Alright. And then this one, we'll go ahead and get that one down. Let's get my basically what we're doing here is just get something. Nope. Got something here. That's on the outside or the inside, to be honest with you. Looks like it's there we go. All right. Now, let's get Chuck. Then we'll get this thing lined up properly. All right, so that gets that. So now we'll come back here. We'll get a little more tack solution in here, and I'll try to see if I can work that out. One last piece. There we go. Look at that. I think I'm getting better. Now, one thing I've noticed, and I'm just going to talk as I'm doing this, is I've got some air bubbles in the hood and on that one fender, so I'm going to try to do a better job. I'm just going to have to let it just work itself out. And or get a needle, little diabetic needles, as they say, and work that direction and try to see if I can just get it out. That's the only thing I know to do, but there are quite a few. I don't know if the heat from outside will help some, but we'll just have to see. I'm going to try to get this stuff this way out. So it's that's the biggest challenge, I think, out of all of this, is just working these bubbles out. At the end of the day, and just keep, I got to do a better job of making sure I'm getting enough pressure and overlapping. All right, let's come over here. I have to bring this up for a second. Okay, this is a split solution first, just so I can kind of get this where I want it. Okay, so we'll get some tack in right here. Let's see if I can get some of these fingers. Got one here, but we'll work those out. No worries. Oh, not where I wanted it. Okay. There we go. Get these down this direction. I think this may be my best one yet, fellas. Kind of coming at an angle, and if we have to use tack solution, we will, of course, but just trying to come at an angle. Okay, so we got one little finger here and there. Oops, yeah, tack solution. Okay, so here we're gonna take it, we're gonna work this direction. As you can see, I'm creating more as we go, but that's great because it's helping to kind of line this thing up better. I think we're gonna have one more still about right here. All right, so I think we're getting to the end of this side, which is a lot quicker than I originally did the other side, so that's good. So let me kind of look at something here. So as you can see, I've got a few little fingers here. I'm going to work those out and get those going, but I think that we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and spray some tack solution up underneath here, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just gonna keep trying to work some of this stuff out and go from there. So yeah, so I think things are looking really good. All right, so the next step we're gonna do, I think, are the mirrors. So hold tight on the mirrors. And again, I apologize, this is just gonna be a very long video. But I wanna try to get showing you guys as much as to what I'm doing as possible. So hold tight, I'll pull out some. So hold tight here and let me finish this section here, and then we'll get on the mirrors. All right, guys, we are back. So I got the driver's mirror done. So basically you start from here and you tack it down with your tack solution. You tack it down here on the second one. And then the third one is you're stretching this thing as much as you can, just stretching it, and then you tack it down here. And at that point, you have limited fingers you have to deal with, and it seemed to be pretty good. So, and then again, there's the thing. Of course, it's just backwards from this mirror, but so you got one at the bottom, two at the top, three, and then three at the corner, but you're stretching. So you stretch going up. So here, going up, and then stretching that way. So let me bring it up. All right, so that one's it. So we're gonna go ahead and get the other one down. Probably won't video it, but I'll show it to you once we're done. And then we're on to the headlights. All right, guys, we've got the passenger mirror on, as you can see. So again, your attachment points, you start here and attach here with your tack solution. here where you stretch, then tack solution, stretch that way, and then tack solution. May not be perfect, but as long as it protects the mirror, that's the main thing. So next we're kind of rocking and rolling here. Now we're on to the headlights, and you know we're saving the best. Let me screw up. There you go. You know we're saving the best for last. This bumper, it's going to be a doozy. But we're gonna get it done. We've got all these other ones. Again, I'm gonna have to extract some bubbles. I've got major bubbles, and that's just me not paying attention, to be honest with you. But we're just gonna have to just deal with it. So we'll just kind of see what has to happen on the hood. But again, it just is what it is. Just attention to detail, and not really even ever doing this before. So again, I always send my cars out for PPF. Anyway, all right, so let me get to the headlights and we'll get started there, and hopefully these will go a little easier on the headlights, and then we'll get the bumper. So hold tight and let me start that process. All right, guys, we are now on to the headlight. So hopefully we can do this without any issues. And kind of get it started at one corner here. Some more solution, get this thing moving around right. Maybe we start down here or up here, which way? No, that necessarily matters. What I'm trying to do is just keep everything on the edge without overlapping. I think we got a good starting point. All right, we're gonna have some fingers, but we will work on the fingers. That surprisingly went on pretty simple, believe it or not. So again, you know, the reason why we do this is to protect everything, protect our investments that we have, and go from there. And I can tell you, so far the kit has been great doing this. I'm sure I am probably messing some stuff up, but I think the kit's been great. The videos are definitely a must to start with. You've got to start watching the videos before you get started. And those practice things are important too. So all of that together really will help you'll be more proficient at this and not have as many issues. You know, we've had a few along the way, but not too bad. It's not been too bad. I'm just kind of working these fingers out here. So that I can't stress enough the team at Drive Protected. They have been fabulous to work with. again, super cool. They sponsored the video, and we're partnering with these guys. I'm just super stoked about that. So I'm going to finish this real quick, and then once we get this done, then we'll go over there on the passenger side. So give me a few minutes. All right, guys, got the other light on, so looks like we're good to go on that. So both lights are done. Again, just start at one point and start it kind of forming it, and then stretching it to where it comes to the end, trying to keep everything not overlapping, going outside of the light itself. And I'll tell you, so far we're looking good. So to recap where we're at right now, we've done the mirrors, we've done the hood, and then we've done the fenders. Again, I've got some bubbles and stuff I'm just gonna have to work out. It just is what it is, unfortunately. But for my first time, I think it's pretty good. It's hard to tell, but you'll see these, but I can pull these out fairly easy. I'm gonna let the sun do some of the work for me, and then go from there. So I've got, so anyway, so yeah, so mirrors, fenders, hood are done. Next, we're gonna get the lights here, fog lights here, and then, oops, sorry, Parker. And then we'll tackle the bumper. All right, guys, we're getting close. Again, this is a long video, but it's gonna be well worth it for anybody that's looking to do PPF on their car themselves, the DIY project with protected, excuse me. So hang tight. All right, guys, we are putting in I get my text solution. We're putting in the fog lights now. Oh goodness, I'm getting old for this, too old. All right, so get some tack in there. Make sure it lines up right. This all right, so get a little tack on this end here. Just a little bit. Let it lay down. Just kind of went right into place. Probably a smaller squeegee would have worked better, but this is all I got. So this is what we get. All right. That is done. That is done, my friends. All right, so we'll get the other side. No sense in filming that, but as you can see, it lines up pretty good. And then it's on for the bumper, which here is what we got to do. So it's going to be a lot, but we can do it. All right, guys, we're close. All right, guys, we're back. Kind of a quick little recap. We've got the fenders done, the hood, the lights, everything's done. Now we're focusing on where my hand's at, the bumper. So what I ended up doing was I've got, as you can see, I've got the car on the lift. What I've done is just kind of raised it up to where I'll be able to work on it standing up, and I'm not sitting on the ground, just to keep debris off of it as I'm doing this, and it's just easier for me and my back to work with it standing up. And luckily I've got a lift, so it makes things a lot easier for me. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything, go ahead and take, as you can see here, I've got the film still on, the plastic or whatever. So we're going to pull that off and get it onto the bumper and then get started. So wish me luck. This is the one I've been kind of worried about a little bit. But I do have, let me show you. I do have the instructions that come with the kit, which is awesome. And that'll help us get this thing hopefully laid in right. So crossing my fingers, you do the same, and let's get this bumper started. All right, guys, we're back. I'm on my own with the camera angles, so I apologize, but we're gonna get this thing started. We're gonna add some more solution. So I've got the wrap on here. Let's see. All right, guys, we are back. I want to apologize. My helper, my son Parker, ended up having to go somewhere, so he wasn't able to help me. So I couldn't really get the angles properly, put on the camera properly, and be able to show it. But I have finished the install of the bumper. I would definitely suggest DIY, guys. Never done this. Take two people to do it. I did just me. And it was kind of a bear, but it definitely could be done. The videos on Drive Protected site are great. I watched it 2 or 3 more times before I got started. And those guys do a great job. Eric, I think, is mostly in the videos, and he's great at explaining it and, you know, just having the patience and the calmness to kind of show you how to do it. So I'm very pleased with the outcome. I'm gonna flip the camera around and let you look at it. I've got a couple of corners I got to work with, but that was like every corner I had in the car, basically. Just kind of, you have to massage it a little bit, add some more tack solution in, and go from there. So let me show you the bumper. The bumper is completely done. It came in, I think, 3 or 4 pieces. Let me see, hang on 1 second, just so I'm right. It ended up getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. 6 pieces the bumper came in. I didn't want the 1 piece because I was really just afraid I couldn't do it. So I asked them to send me the 6 or 7 piece one. So, all right, let me flip it over. I'm gonna quit talking. I'll show it to you. And I think we're good. And then we'll wrap this video up. Hang tight. Okay, guys. All right, here we go. So the main bumper here is all 1 piece all the way over, and I'm definitely got some air bubbles and stuff, and it was like kind of literally like the hood a little bit, but I'll let them sit outside here in a few. They'll kind of go away, and then I'll see if I need to use like a diabetic needle, which I kind of keep one sitting right here. So I mean, if you can see it, it's hard to see if it will focus. Let's see. Anyway, this needle is very, very small. So so you have the main one here that just kind of goes across, and then you have the piece that goes right here, and then a piece that kind of comes here, and then this piece that runs along the side. So you know, I got my lines good. It's probably not the best, you know, but it is what it is. I've never done this before, but I really am comfortable now saying that I could do this again and probably even do it better the next time. But I mean, if you can see here, it's completely done. I know with white it's tough to see, but anyway, so again, you start, you know, you start here, you start here, and then you come to here, and then you're here, and then you come here, and then you kind of stretch it along, and you tack it down, and you start moving it here. You attach here, 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 and stretch it along every second you got. And it does take a little bit to stretch it. You're not going to damage the film. Don't pull at it. Just push to stretch it. So just kind of push. Don't tug it, but just kind of push it. And that should work. I'll kind of go out a little. There we go. So, you know, you want to push it towards this way. You don't want to tug the film. You'll definitely damage the film if you tug it. So anyway, I'm very happy with it. Again, I got some air bubbles places. This is my first time ever doing it, but the bumper looks really good. Now I'm just gonna pull it outside, let it sit in the sun the rest of the day, and just kind of heat up. And yeah, and then we'll just go from there. So let's get this, let's get the video wrapped up. Give me just a second, we'll wrap her up. And this is your DIY Model 3 or Model Y PPF from Drive Protected. Hang tight, guys. All right, guys, again, that is a wrap. I used all the pieces on the car. Everything worked out well. Next, I'm going to let it sit in the sun and just kind of let it soak up. So again, thank you to Drive Protected. You guys are awesome sponsoring the video. I'm going to leave their information below. There will be a coupon or a code, a code to use to get 20% off of your purchase with Drive Protected. So I'm definitely excited. I will be washing the car again tomorrow, just to clean it up with all the soap and everything that's everywhere. Man, I look like a mess. Anyway, so I appreciate you going along on this journey. I know it was a long video. I tried not to make videos this long, but it's just a lot of work. It started this morning and it's evening time, or it's getting evening time here in Alabama. So until the next video, I'll link again, Drive Protected information below. You'll get a 20% off code below as well. Please like and subscribe. And to the next video, God bless.